Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Crusader Kings 3 here today on the channel. We're back with episode 5 of my House of Normandy England campaign. We're playing as King Richard of England. He's 50 years of age. We're still continuing on our main objective to form the United Kingdom and the British Empire. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. Let me know in the comments feedback and suggestions for the series and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. I've got to say a huge thank you to Paradox Interactive for sending me a free early access code of CK3 and making this Let's Play possible. So a huge thank you to them and their community team. We're playing as our third faction leader, King Richard. His lineage is secure through his son William and his grandsons as well. Matilda was our queen beforehand. Prince Robert we never got to play as because he died in the Civil War. My sister is the Queen of Jerusalem. I am still open to doing a Jerusalem Let's Play maybe after this one, so let me know in the comments suggestions for other series. I am the great grandson of King William the Conqueror. My uncle's lines have pretty much died out except for a couple of occasions. But I'll put in the description below CK3 the Steam page if you guys would like to check out some further information along with my affiliate links if you want to make a purchase of the game. So we're going to be continuing to try and forge the British Empire. We still need a fair few more titles. We are currently in the line to basically unite the crowns of England and Castile. We've got Britannia, Wales, and hopefully Castile. So that's because you need 3 titles to get the Empire of Britain and a fair few more territories. So we'll look to expand further into Ireland, Scotland. Yeah, so I've got a grandson who's albino here over in Jerusalem, and yeah, so the Normandy house is working over there fine. So Tristan, my grandson and heir to the throne, is a dwarf. We might need to try and marry him off if we can, but there doesn't seem to be too many suitors around Europe. In my playthrough, I feel like excuse me. Yes, I feel like there's been a severe lack of princesses throughout Europe, as a lot of the major factions have died off. King Richard, oh yes, our claim in Scotland has completed, so we can continue to expand and conquer in the north. Okay, so we have 5 men-at-arms. We actually have proper Norman knights now, which have reformed the army, which is fantastic. So we have 500 knights, 250, well, 1,000 dismounted knights, 250 on armoured horseback. We're going to be rallying the troops at Durham. We have taken Fife and Gowrie and a couple of titles there. We do need a fair few more before we can form the Empire of Britannia. But yeah, just sort of reflecting and having a look at the sort of other major European powers. Like, we're set to unite the crowns of Castile and England. It kind of reminds me of the union of Castile and Leon. But still, Galatia, Leon, Castile have all, for all intensive purposes, died out. Also in France, the Carpathian dynasty is no more. The House of Burgundy has risen to the French throne with a small lineage connection. So like the male lines died out as well. And early on, where Austria and Hungary were helping me out, they've sort of fallen off as well. I feel like maybe comparing to, okay, so Malevolent Liege, I've tried, right, okay, I can't, no, I can salvage this, it's fine. I feel like maybe comparing to other people's series, the AI has had a really rough time, or maybe it's me sort of influencing stuff in and around on the continent. Or maybe wars are a little bit more savage. Like, you'd think, for example, Leon would have a strong lineage, and like the Carpathian dynasty, and in the HRE you'd probably think that either Austria, Hungary, or one of the Bohemian factions have risen up. I know it's like an electorate, but still, you think they'd still have some prominence. The Scandinavians seem to be doing things alright though. Norway, Denmark, and Sweden all claim their independence. So we'll try and take as many forts as we can. And it is now at 100%. So it's enforce the demands and continue to expand and conquer. So, right, yes. So I want to go with the fertility. The Norman dynasty legacy. I went with the knight buff last time around. King Richard, 18 stewardship, our third faction leader. Very much like his mother, a fantastic stewardess. So we've been able to have two very good money-making monarchs, let's say. And if I was to continue again, right, that's all done. So the first war against Scotland's being complete. Okay. So Leinster is united up. Yeah, so they actually took out Ivar's faction eventually. Is there any way we can influence into Ireland as we have the north of it? We can't war deck them. If I was to declare war upon you, it's always worth checking. I could maybe fabricate a claim here. Go to my council and do that. How long will it take? Maybe we're better off going somewhere on the border here, so it's slightly quicker. In Dublin. And on the border there, probably won't take too long. Yeah, it's only 13 months there. Yeah, so Ireland has united under two factions. Mental break. Oh, right. So, I have a guilty conscience because there was a plot against the Spanish king to ensure that my wife took the throne because she was the last living claimant of the House of Castile to secure my son William's rise. Okay, that's now complete, and we're going to have a quick war against the Irish here. Inferior, 8.6k. Oh, okay. Right, let's move the rally point to Ireland, particularly to a fort if we get rushed. So we'll rally up the military forces. We have 10k in the bank now. And, why can't we do that? Oh, we don't have the prestige just yet. Oh, that's a shame. My prestige is quite low. Okay, we'll quickly save up a bit. I am a sinner, and yeah, my piety's kind of low. Okay, we got enough now. Let's go to war with the Irish. And we still can't do anything in Scotland because we have to wait 3 years for a truce. Alright. Oh, they've got the Kingdom of Ireland now. They've actually technically forged that. Okay. Yeah, Ireland has been formed. Well, that's another kingdom. I think we need 3 kingdoms before we become an empire. We technically only have 2, Wales and Britannia. But if we can either take Scotland, we can secure that, which I'd like, or Ireland, now that it's been formed, and we are in the line of succession for Castile. And we've also got to be prepared for that. So once my son William takes to the throne, we're probably going to be drawn into those crazy wars. Okay, so there's a little bit there. That is back the Irish. So that's unfortunately been taken. So we're going to have to move back our forward operating station back to Scotland. We've got a little bit of money, but I'd rather not spend the 60 if I can avoid it. We'll just cross over the small sea crossing there with ease. We'll try and snipe their capital, of course, as they look like they're sending 3,000 to Normandy, which I need to protect. My capital is still in Normandy, which actually isn't too bad because it tries to make the AI... Because we're constantly fighting and conquering in and around England. Civil War. Oh, not a... okay, no. Not a civil war. It's a war in Spain. I thought it might have been. Crikey. Yeah, so, look. Although the Reconquista is failing a lot, my wife should be alright. So we've smashed the 2KI, and we've captured their king! What? Oh, that's such a quick war. Oh, we didn't even have the opportunity to have the sack and siege of Ireland. Okay. Yeah. High King of Ireland. Yes, we want to try and get rid of him eventually. And let's fabricate a next claim. Oh, a boy king of Dunbar, who's 9, has risen to the throne of Scotland. Yeah, because we've been fighting Dunbars and Dunks and I think it was like Macs and stuff. There's been a fair few Scottish kings. Fair few ruling houses. Okay. So what sort of... there doesn't seem to be... Yeah, too many princesses. We could maybe marry into the Hungarian line with my son and heir. I could make him sort of the next Tyrion Lannister, I guess. But I mentioned this before. There is a severe lack of available princesses around the continent. So the Emperor of the Byzantines, their prince is firstborn or secondborn daughter, just stats wise. The problem is with his condition. It's just going to be a little bit tough because he's a lot of titles. We can't even interact with the Kingdom of Jerusalem, my cousins over in the distant sea, but they seem to be doing alright. They seem to have massively expanded. And it looks like the Turks have been pushed so back that they've managed to form the Persian Empire, which is cool. So this is probably going to work out alright. We'll marry into the Greek line as well. But we knew the costs binding our houses. Okay, that's now done. Sweet. Okay. So, would only gain a little bit more territory. It only costs 45. That's actually really cheaper. Oh, but Ireland's now been completely united. Okay, so it makes things a little bit harder, which is cool. We'll look to go to war with Scotland, as we've just had a war against Ireland here now. Iceland has taken some territory there. Huh. They're still hanging out. Okay. Yeah, so I can support the Earl's claim. I don't want to do that now because he's not going to be my vassal. I kind of wish you could do that, but I think you need to be an emperor to have kings under you. So we'll just try and pick and take some territory where we can. We also want to try and build up our piety, finances and stuff. It's going to be a little bit difficult to form an empire under King William, as he's quite old now. King Richard, maybe under King William. Williams, Richards, Johns and Edwards, Henrys, they're all a bit of a mismatch. They're all just a mismash in English history, isn't it? I'm still suffering from breaks. Maybe. Yeah. Currently 2, it's going to rise to 3. We've got to be careful about this. 120 stress. Yeah, it's because of these secrets that I hold due to the plot in Spain and also my various deviancies at court. Oh, here we go. Oh my god. So when it goes up to 3, we could lose him here. That's going to reduce 70 stress. Whoa, I don't have 1.5k. Oh, we're going to have to do that. So, I'm really sort of trying to cure my sinful ways. And now I've got one eye. He's 58. Yeah, I don't think he's going to last too long. Wow. Okay, so he's only got 900, this boy king of Scotland. He's only just risen to the throne. So, it really doesn't surprise me that he potentially doesn't have too many military forces. Oh no, a little bit deceiving because there's 1.2k there, pushing past Edinburgh. But no, the king has fallen. Put an F in the comments. King Richard of England has found peace at last. King William II has risen to the throne. And what's happened here? Oh, my brother King Robert has seized the throne of Wales. That's annoying. We can't allow that. And, oh, I haven't taken Castile yet because my mother's still the queen. But I'll get it eventually. So, my queen, who was Scandinavian, she's 54. I reckon I'm going to have to request a divorce because I need more children. I can't allow my son... I've actually got pretty good relations with Pope Honoris. So we'll bribe him. I'm going to get a revolt. She's 58. We should have had way more children by now. So we're going to really anger the Swedes and probably lose that alliance. But I need more children to secure this line because he's got 7 titles and 7 claims. Which is huge. Yeah, I'm still 40, so I've still got 30 years that I can still have more heirs. Court-wise, we're going to have to reform that. My crown authority is currently 4. So titles lost on succession, yeah. We might have to retake Wales from my brother. To found an empire, we still want to try and work towards that. So dynasty-wise, yeah, so... Oh, my brother's line seems way more secure with King Robert of Wales. Yeah, was the play to maybe destroy that? Maybe not. It just adds too many diplomatic penalties. But it does tend to skip a generation sometimes. I am ugly, so I'm already losing a 20% fertility hit. King William II of England. So my father was Robert. My grandmother was Queen Matilda the Crusader. My grandfather was Robert, and my great-grandfather was William the Conqueror. My aunt is the Queen of Jerusalem. Yeah, we never got to play as Prince Robert. Because in the first couple of episodes, once we threw out the Norwegians and the Anglo-Saxon kings, Godwinson, or whatever his name was, we had countless civil wars, and the male line died out of William. So let's have a look at William II. Oh, so we've had 3 lines of stewardship. He's 19 as well, maybe even better than his father. He has spent some time at court, being the master of coin. So we'll continue on that route. Let's go with value focus. So what's the next best one? Nothing really. It's mostly stewardship, which isn't a bad thing. Honestly, I quite like military because I like to expand and conquer. I don't usually go for a intrigue playthrough, but you can do that and set yourself up. We've had some little bit of intrigue on the continent now that we've built ourselves up, but you sort of forget this is a medium to hard campaign because we start off with Normandy. We've done well to expand from a small, old, ancient Viking house in northern France to England, throwing back various Viking raids and civil wars. So we can call Robert in to our wars. Yeah, so, because this is you can call a house member to a war. Because we're still technically in the war against the Scots. Hopefully the Queen leaves and doesn't assist the ruler there. But I do need to find a new wife. Okay, so you won't believe this. I went through rank, alliance power. I went through all around here. There was no one of age in the Byzantines. There was no one of age in Poland. Sweden doesn't like me because I had to request that divorce. And succession-wise, I don't particularly want it to go to Prince Tristan. So... because we're just going to have problems. He's got too many negative traits. And he probably won't even have any children anyway. Yeah. And King Robert seized Wales. Maybe I need to imprison him and divorce him, maybe. Once I have some more children. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here and go summon by all skills. Because I want to find someone of age. Because I've only got probably 30 years. So, Edbur of Ross here. So this is a way where we can get some decent level characters, but they are sort of lowborn. So Edbur Ross, she looks alright. Catholic Anglo-Saxon. What about you? Catholic Basque, 26. Her traits aren't too bad, but she's from the Iberian Peninsula. And what about you here? Prussian. Gracias of Samba. She's quite diplomatic, but I kind of wouldn't mind compounding. Oh, she's obsessive. Some of the stewardship stuff. Catholic Prussian. She's not too bad. Maybe Edinburgh of Ross. Anglo-Saxon. Piety Catholic. Or the Basque woman. I'm going to go with Edinburgh of Ross. Ross, very Scottish last name, but she's Anglo-Saxon. So hopefully that gets accepted, and we have a new queen. So she's 26. And of course I'll collect my dowry, or I can get more prestige. It's probably not a bad thing doing that, because William's young enough, we might be able to go down the Empire reign. We'll just have to say. But I've completely forgot, we're still dealing with this Scottish war against the boy king. So hopefully I can secure William's line, because somehow with him we've managed to culminate so many titles. But I kind of feel like William's a bit like Tywin Lannister. Okay, so my mother is 70, but she just keeps on getting smashed by the Umayyad Caliphate forces down in Iberia. 900 they're pushing to Normandy. We're going to have to send an army down. I'm only 11 commander, so he's actually probably our worst commander that we've had. We're going to have to most definitely allow our military commanders to do most of the work and heavy lifting and not actually fight in the open field. We are hemorrhaging cash, minus 40, because we've basically got... we don't have realm stability. Once we maybe knock out that 900 that's trying to snipe Normandy, we have put a lot of investment into England and Normandy over the last 100 years. Yeah, look at this, 1164 in October. Oh, and now we've captured the Scottish king. Let's enforce our demands. Right. But yeah, we started in 1066. 1164, we've nearly done 100 years of this series. We played 5 generations, and we've nearly secured the UK. Yeah, so she's just a randomly generated character. She has no ancestors just yet, but sometimes you have to do that in CK3. You have to marry into the lowborns to secure the security of the house. Okay, so we're going to try and make a little bit of money back here. Scotland should eventually fall. Ireland is still fiercely independent, so we're going to have to watch out for them. And we'll try and build up a little bit of money here now. Yeah, so Ireland's united with... right, so, yeah, I can't really afford to be dragged down into those wars. 500. Yeah, we're still dealing with our own problems. It's kind of a shame. Like, it's not really my mother's fault. She got sort of thrown in there at one point. But, yeah, surely Castile should be way stronger than this. But it also doesn't really bother me too much if Castile loses a little bit of territory and she falls. Because then I'm going to get Castile eventually. My wife is now pregnant, fantastic, 26, and a secret is exposed at court. The lowborns, I'm not particularly... I don't care about their minor indecencies. So my piety prestige is now building up. Inheritance! Oh, here we go. Alliance expired. It didn't come up, but as a main thing. But my mother has now died of what? 72? Drank herself. Oh, okay. That's a shame. But now, hey! England has gobbled up the Kingdom of Castile. So we can't, like, white peace it. Oh, so why did it not, like, sue for peace? Because it's not allowed. Wow, we're thrown into this. We might have a bit of a problem with my hands. We've got only 100 gold. We only had a couple of months to repair our wounds from the various starting wars in Ireland and Scotland. So it looks like King William II is going on crusade. He's going to try and liberate the Iberian peoples, which honestly should be doing a lot better. Yeah, so it's not even like... When you think of the Reconquista, you think of Castile, you think of Galatia, you think of Leon. Where's Barcelona? Where's Navarre? Why have they fallen so quickly? We can dish out these low counties eventually as well, which is fine. But William has his first major war against a worthy political power. The yeah. The Abbasid Abbasid, from Egypt, yeah. So to found an empire, we just need to increase our realm size. It needs to be 120, 93 at the moment. And at least one of these is true. And all of these are true. Yeah, so we need the finance. The finances aren't going to be an issue. The prestige and piety might be as well. But once we get Scotland and Ireland, we should be alright. We can also get Wales. Okay. So, let's start off with this war. So, we start off with 2.2k down in Iberia itself. Yeah, 11 titles. And... Castile. Okay, so we can get 7. Oh, we've actually managed to get some knights that are already down here from Castile. Okay. So where am I best moving the waypoint? We probably really need to recapture the Castle of Leon. There seems to be about 5k hovering about, and they seem to be trying to intercept this army in western North Iberia. But Iberia is difficult due to the topography of the Iberian Peninsula itself. My brother, King of Wales, is going to come in. I'll eventually look to depose him, but I need to secure my line because it is very much fragile. We can't allow good old Tyrion Lannister to rise to the throne. King Robin of the House of Burgundy, we have a strong alliance with him because he's married to my sister. Yeah, so we're even like influencing France quite a bit. The Carpathians are no more. Carpathian dynasty. Obviously, with the liege lords over King William. Carpathians. The House of Burgundy is a lot more noble. We'll continue down that and go with our administrator as well. Okay, so we got 10k here. If we can get a good fight... Hey! Praise St. Bridget, I've had a daughter. Would have preferred a son, but that's okay. What should I call her? Matilda's my sister. Gemma is like the Anglo, isn't it? Emma of France, after her grandmother. I quite like Emma, even though I was talking smack about the Carpathians. Stephanie. I kind of like to continue the name. Like, I kind of like to choose the names that are of my grandparents or great-grandparents. Matilda's a strong name, though. The Crusader Queen, our second faction leader we played as. Yeah, William's second wife was of Castilian descent. Queen Matilda of France. Yeah, let's call her Matilda. Or maybe Emma. Any good rolls here? Nah. Alright. Yeah, so her mother was Emma of France. Because we've already got a Matilda, we could get a little bit confused talking about that. So I'll call her Emma. Alright. I don't mind that. Emma de Normandy. Information brokering. I'm not going to spend the 300. I'm not going to be plunged into debt. I'm in a Reconquista war. Yeah, I just thought Spain would be a lot powerful. Like, seizing and uniting the crowns and having the union of... that's fine. Of Castile and England, you think would be a mighty occasion, but... right. So we lost, because the Queen was already at capitulation. Oh, far out. Oh, but there's a holy war being called. We did lose 900, but it looks like Christendom is going to back us up, as they've taken significant territory in northern Castile. Yes, my warriors will be ready. Yeah, they've taken the province of Galatia. Spouse up to the task. Yes, we want to have more children. Yeah, you're known for your dedication to your faith, yes. William II is really living up to the name. So we're still at war with some of the other factions here. There's 8k. So we just weren't quick enough. And these are the choke points. Look at them, like the mountain passes there. We've got to watch out for Lacarillas. Well, we are the Lacarillas, I guess, in the hills. Okay, so we can appoint a beneficiary. I could go with my cousin, but then that means like a kingdom could get formed out of it. If I do put her in, I might need to remove her in the future. Because I had my, under Queen Matilda's reign, I had one of my daughters have it, but I guess we'll leave it like that for now. Okay, I'm going to have to do it because I don't think they're going to be called in because, yeah. So if it does go through, so who is Matilda? Right, so she's Robert's daughter. Okay. Freeman's fortune. Let's go with independent farmlands. Okay. Yeah, so they keep on... Yeah. Override. We can untick that. It just depends. Like, they're not coming. That's the problem. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I can't fully comprehend if I did this last time. If you're... No, we don't want that ticked then. Because we want... Yeah, can we redirect war? What does that mean? Oh, we can move it somewhere else. Yeah, because we need the armies of Christendom to come in. Okay, we've won a couple of wars here early on. Right. Let's try and snipe their capital. There's like 4k raiders there. The Liberty faction. Oh no. I can't afford this. I can't afford a civil war. So we're going to have to reduce our crown authority. We already got it up to 4. Maybe in a time of peace we can eventually get rid of it, but... Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but so be it. We'll try and snipe their capital of Cordoba, sending 6k. There's so many of them. I think they called in more reinforcements there. There's 8k here. Yeah, fall back. Hey, it's finally been called. The Crusade for Castile. Deus Volt. William II is living up to his... Oh, look at this! The army of Christendom. 23! 23 factions are going to come and help us out. That's insane. Yeah, he's living up to his grandmother, Queen Matilda, the first Crusader, and who formed the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Okay. Right. So, even though, yeah, we're going to lose our army, the armies of Christendom are probably going to be able to do the work in the dying for us. Yes, let's go here. Let's start a new tree there. There's not really too much we can do. I might actually be tempted. My wife is pregnant. Fantastic. I might be able to just disband my armies. Look at this! 10,000 men of the Papal States are going to disembark off Portugal. We even have like a decent amount of Portugal. Continuing on with the Portuguese-English alliance. I think it's like one of the oldest alliances, or is the oldest alliance in human history. Because technically, I guess it's still continuing to this day. We are bankrupt. Yeah, I guess we'll just try and be a little bit more scrutinous. Look at this! And I've had a son! Oh, huzzah! I wonder if he has my other son's same infliction, I guess. What should I call him? I gotta call him William, don't I? Call him after myself. William II. And if he turns out to be a really good child... Yeah, it's just too hard to tell when they're first born. If he's a full-grown man, he will be William III, hopefully, someday. But I don't believe this. We've been saved massively here by Christendom. I'm being blackmailed. I know that King Richard is not your true father, but I don't believe that. So if I decline, a disputed heritage comes out. So regardless if it's true or not, which it isn't, I'm pretty sure. I think you can check in the console somewhere, because I've had this stuff in the Game of Thrones mod for CK2, and I'm always just more so curious, but we're going to accept that minor hook because she's known. Oh no, smallpox. Isolate him quickly now. The lowborn boy. But, yeah, the main thing is if when disputed heritage comes out, we can't afford that because William II has way too many claims. Oh, Prince Emma's 3. Oh, she's more important, so send the physician. Isolate the lowborns, cure the highborns. Yeah, so we'll pay for that. Yeah, be cautious. Do no more than what's necessary. She's not dealing with combat wounds. She's only got smallpox. Serf refugees. No. Return the serfs. 150, 150. We lose 10 opinion. Yeah, that's fine. So the AI. Oh, we've been victorious against the Reconquista, the Crusade, the victorious Crusade. It's because we're probably, like, we're not... Because over in the Kingdom of Heaven, the Byzantines and Jerusalem are still very much secure. So we've been able to redirect the Christendom armies into Iberia. And look how much territory we've managed to grab as well. Wales occupy some counties there, which is infuriating. But we are successful in our crusade. We've been massively saved by the AI here. Yeah, it's kind of realistic. Christendom wouldn't allow Iberia to purely fall into like Moors and Abbasid occupation, or Umayyad rather. Rightio then. So, if my calculations are correct, we should have enough to form an empire. We might need slightly better relations with the Pope. Okay, so we just need slightly a little bit more prestige. Man, oh man, we got so much there from the successful crusade, because, well, I'm so thankful to Christendom for coming to help us out, and smallpox is now being eradicated, which is fantastic. Just need to fix my boom mic here, got in the way a little bit. Okay, yeah, we'll go with vassal tax, because I want to be at a time of peace for now. But it looks like that's going to go through. I am exalted among men, and we can condense these kingdoms and claimants down. This will make it a little bit easier to manage kingdoms independently. A realm forged. I have done what no one else could have. I have united the lands of England, those of Britannia and Castile. All my vassals and priests are finally getting together for the Pope. Honorous places the crown upon my head. I declare my new empire. All hail Emperor William. I guess he's the first now. He's not the second anymore. England reigns supreme. What will happen? You will become the Emperor of England. Emperor William of England. So we now have an empire. Our lands stretch from the north in Normandy to Castile, and now in Ireland. Now, what can I do? So that doesn't bring my brother under my authority. That's a shame. Can I claim his title? Dynastic, yeah, so unpressed claim. So I can just claim it straight up. It does, I do lose 150 renown though. I got 1.5k. Or my better, so my crown of authority doesn't go up even higher now that I've merged that all up. We've founded an empire. The Empire of England, the British Empire. Well, yeah, I don't know, I think it's Britannia goes into. But we're going to have to secure our the dynasty, aren't we? If we can't allow my son, my firstborn son, to become the emperor. Also, I figured out that you could actually go to the barber in the settings there and change our outfit if you want. I personally like the randomness on the characters. It's kind of realistic, but if something happens and you got sort of annoyed from it, you can change the Western style clothing. What do we got here? Knights Templar. We can get him to roleplay as a Hospitaller. The Knights of the Holy Sepulchre. That's quite cool. He is a Crusader after all. But there's even like Byzantine stuff there as well. Give us some fresh this is so hot. This is the best robes out of Constantinople at the moment, my lord. Oh, the way you wear that Constantine's so hot. Oh my god. An Imperial crown there. There's a lot of really cool stuff we can go with. We can even make his beard a bit bigger. Oh yes, more kingly. If we wanted to. He does eerily... yeah, he looks distinctly different compared to my other family members. So, yeah. I think you can probably... Yeah, there might be a... Yeah, from what I can remember, there might be a way able to tell he's, like, real lineage. I remember in my Targaryen series on CK2, there was a lot of problems. So at the moment, Prince William is not my main heir because it's going to go to my dwarf son. So we're still on Confederation partition. If I can go with single heir primogenitor, we don't have the crown authority because I would declare William my heir. What happens, because I need to get rid of him. So I can disinherit him. But that's risky because that might not work. 75 opinion. Yeah. It does cost a bit, but maybe I need to imprison him. He's not even that good of a steward or a diplomat, or with intrigue as well, compared to his father. He does have a lot of claims. Yeah. A dwarf can't rule the empire. Kind of got this Tywin Lannister thing going. I could imprison him firstly, and I'm tempted to take the hit, and then I'll denounce him and disinherit him. Now that William's been born, we'll protect him, and he will be the future king. Although he's born from a lowborn, he's half Swedish, so. Didn't the Vikings originally believe in dwarfs? So maybe it's a little bit realistic. Alright, so we're going to imprison my son. And I'm going to now disinherit him. And once I can break the Byzantine betrothal, I will do, because I don't want him to have any children, even though he's under lock and key. Yeah. I could just force... Like, he hasn't even had any children either. He's 29. Yeah. Fickle. Yeah, we can't allow him to rule. But my son, Prince William, looks to be a fully formed man, let's say. But we rule in Castile, Normandy, and now England, of course. Okay. Well, let's look to go and continue on some more wars. So, I think dealing with Wales is the play. It's kind of a shame. I think it's because I had a brother, and because of our technical kingdom, it got split with him. But now we're an empire. I should be able to seize it straight up. It only costs 169, and he's got 8,000 forces. But I am going to be at war with my brother and potentially the French. Yeah. Petition for a claim. Why can't I just request the title? 150 renowned. Yeah, so we'll do that. And we'll look to go to war with the boy king again. And Ireland. I want to get all of the United Kingdom under my control. But we were able to form an empire with Britannia and Castile. Because you need 3, but you do need the regions there. Okay. So now that we're an empire, Wales should never be free and independent again. I guess he seized it when my father died. So, brothers versus brothers. We're going to have a civil war, but for some reason the French are going to be joined in on them. We have 12k. We should be able to deal with a French army quite easily if need be. My sister is actually the Queen of France. That's why it complicates things. But she's going to stand with the free and independent Kingdom of Wales. Let's move our rally point to the side that we control, and now that we are an empire, we should be able to get a lot more recruits. We also have the conscripts coming straight from Castile as well, as I am holding the title there. So we've managed to get 7,000, and King Robert of France has joined England on a claim of Wales. Enemy joins allies. So King Robin has betrayed me. So be it. And the Irish. The Irish, Welsh, and French stand against the Emperor of England. So there's 3k down there because they do have some territory. If I can quickly swarm, take their capital, the better. We'll split and divide our armies through southern Wales. And if we can somehow snatch my brother up... Yeah. It's kind of realistic. Emperors tend to often fight with kings. We do have military supremacy. Yeah, my sister Matilda sided with the King of France. But he's a drunkard. He's an absolute chunky monkey of a man. He's absolutely stacked. But, yeah, hopefully he doesn't snipe Normandy. We could actually maybe go for France itself. If we could capture him. Blackmail. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so we've taken their capital. It's only 23%. So let's continue to secure southern Wales. I've sent 7k here. And I want you to go for the French capital, which obviously would have been Paris on the River Seine. However, because Burgundy is now the ruling kingdom has gone through. Yeah, have a weak hook, that's fine. Yeah, it's been pushed back because the Carpathian dynasty related to Charlemagne is no more. To be honest, we're probably one of the last claimants of it, as my Spanish wife's mother, her mother Emma was a queen. And we can arrange this marriage now. No, I'm going to break the betrothal. Where's this? So that will anger the Byzantines, but that's okay. They're too far away, realistically. And now, Tyrion Lannister is under lock and key. Tyrion Lancaster? Or Tyrion de Normandy? His name was like Tristan or something as well. I might as well just call him Tyrion. Okay. What? Why? How? When a father and a mother love each other. Okay, so Prince William, who's 3 years of age, the heir, maybe stumbled into something he shouldn't have seen. Just scars him for life. He just gets battle scarred as a trait or something. Right, so we've somehow managed to seize the Kingdom of France there. We've secured southern Wales. There seems to be a decent amount of raids going on. We just need to watch out for them. We haven't fought any of their armies in the open field. Okay, so there's 4k pushing us there, but that's a duchy. Where are their armies? There should be like 6k floating about somewhere. We probably can get a couple more. So there's 8, there's 900 there. We swung down with 1,000. There's another one there. We just need to have a fight against them. Duke Baldwin can be fine. That's one. Oh, here we go. We've been engaged. Here's the French army. So we won the first fight. And now there's 4k. We'll give chase. Maybe fighting the French. A rogue servant. I'll just show him mercy. That's fine. Okay. Nothing's going on down here. There's no land really being seized. We've even got like a small bit on the Pyrenees there as well. Oh, the Irish are besieging us in Wales. Let's get rid of that 800. And if we can win this, we should be alright. My vassal wounded. And you inherit the Kingdom of Castile and other titles as well. But we've won. I think it's because the king... There was like a king there for a little bit, wasn't there? But he's gone. So a valuable hostage. So who else did we get? So we'll disband the army. Now we're making our cash back. Right. Duchy of Castile. That's what it's gone to. That guy's an absolute giant. Steward-wise, 14. Could be better. I've had better in the past, so we'll bring him in. Anything else we can do? We can ransom prisoners. So we've got the Duke of Mercia under lock and key. A couple of others. Mostly I'll keep my vassals. We have my uncle here that caused problems with another civil war. I have Duke William, who is of the male line of Normandies, under lock and key. My brother Robert has been reduced to a count after submitting the Kingdom of Wales to me. And he's got his other claims. So we've brought it back into the fold. He does have his other titles, but yeah, I think we're better off just to hold them now, because now that we can hold multiple kingdoms under our control, before we struggled. Why does the Irish have so many wives? Okay, that's strange. Hostile factions, we're fine. Crown authority, and our line of succession is secure. So Castile, and we will lose on succession. So we might need to merge those a bit better. We will need to keep an eye on them. Eventually, before King... Well, he's not even king. I keep on misspeaking. Emperor William of England. I can marry... No, it's a guardianship, my bad. I probably can look to marry my children eventually. So 12 titles under our control. Wales is under our control. Let's look to try and bring Scotland into it. So... I can maybe get a kingdom there. So is there a similar thing in Ireland? And they're not going to join in this time. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, Tristan's under lock and key. So here's the dynasty, of course. Emperor William, father of Richard. Well, yeah. So King Robin is fine. They've got plenty of children. They're still quite strong. What else is going on? The Byzantines have expanded. Look how big Jerusalem is, man. Our cousin. She doesn't look too healthy. Oh, the bubonic plague. Well, we don't want that spreading over here. Isn't the theory it was a rodent from the east on the train lanes, wasn't it? Poland has come back, and Hungary. Our court is secure as well. Now, we are going to fabricate a claim on the coast here, just in case. But we might be able to... Liege Lord. Okay, that's a bit weird. We've got a new bishop, but we can probably take that. So, we can seize Dublin there. Okay, let's do that. We'll wait for that claim in Scotland to finish. We'll move our rally point to Ireland, and we'll try and bring the Kingdom of Ireland under our control. It should be a lot easier. That last fight was more so tricky. Now that we're at war, we can go with that, because we've got a couple more wars to go ahead. It's 1172 in the campaign. We're under our 4th faction leader. Now we're at war with the Irish. They haven't got hardly any of a military. Now, I'm tempted just to try and surround every individual castle where I can. Maybe try and kidnap some family members. So push down to Leinster here. It's sometimes worth doing that instead of straight up suing for peace. We haven't been in an opportunity so far in a war having such overwhelmingly strong armies to comfortably split in all directions and try and imprison the local populace. So we'll try and do that. Bring Ireland under our control. Because I think the next thing, now that we've formed an empire, because you can form an empire at any time with no specification. For example, if you have 3 kingdoms, I think it's 90 or 120 specific, I can't remember the specifics, it's in the decisions tree in your thing. Scheme at court, that's fine. Yes, but, yeah, you can form that at any point. So, if you get those 3 kingdoms, you can form the Empire of France, the Empire of Castile. We'll continue with that. Oh, we've won. So that war's... We didn't even get to choose there. Whoa! Look how many prisoners we have. Yeah. And for our instance, the Kingdom of England. The Empire of England. For us to get the Empire of Britannia, Britannica, we're going to have to gobble up all the isles. Right, so we've managed to bring Dublin into the Empire of England. Such a weird thing to say, because there was the British Empire. I don't think there was ever a English Empire, or the Empire of England, as a colloquial term like that. Yes, look at all the wives he's got. He's even brought in one of my own family members. And that must be unique to Ireland. I think there's a thing with the Pope that you can request to declare war upon them. Okay, titles wise now we've got Dublin in. We'll give him the Earl of Dublin. I quite like that it's Ivar the Boneless's flag, obviously Dublin. Okay, 13 days for Scotland. So, I figured out an opportunity here. We can actually fight and bring the entirety of Scotland under one war. It does cost a little, but it's 1.3k. Because, you know how we've been picking away at the various, of course, Scottish kings for quite some time. Now, it has actually changed through like 3 separate houses. So I'll try and find it here. So if you guys can remember, the very first war we had against the Scottish, it was against the Dunkeld dynasty. And we actually have his great-grandson as our vassal in Fife. Now, Dunbar has taken the throne, and the way he has a claim is through the Dunkeld dynasty. So we actually have a claimant to the throne of Scotland, arguably stronger than the current king. King Oscar was there as well. But I need to find him. So, we've got Earl Malos. So, Prince Sommerland was their father. King Donald was before him. And Earl Malcolm. Now, Earl Malcolm was a king in his own right as well, in the very first Scottish war with William the Conqueror. So, I've managed to convince the Earl of Fife to say, look, I will bring you your kingdom back. Bend the knee, submit to the Emperor, and you can rule Scotland as a kingdom, not independent, under the authority of the Empire of England. And he is the distant cousin of the boy king, which is quite cool. We've had a bit of a checkered history with Dunkeld. I haven't really worried about, like, on the Isles, there's been so many Welsh queens that have sort of annoyed me, and we seized their throne. The Irish as well, we've been picking apart with them. But Scotland has survived so long compared to any others. They do have a small army, and we're going to war with their king to install the Dunkeld dynasty back on the throne. William, Emperor Rib William, get the Stone of Destiny. We're coming home. Right, so let's move north. Now, we should be able to push into Galloway, and, oh, good, that fabrication is done. We lose opinion. I'm going to say no because I don't want to lose the opinion. We don't need it if we're going to, like, there's no point in me picking away one by one when I can install a king there. It could very well even come to me at some point. So, push to Dunbar because that's where the current seat is for the Scottish. We've actually got the Castle of Edinburgh under our control. And we'll move in there. Love Scotland. Beautiful place. Definitely my favourite place in all of the United Kingdom. If I am ethnically anything, I'm probably Scottish more so than anything. Because I am a direct descendant of an unbroken male line from Scotland. I still have his last name before he came over as a free settler. Ethnically wise, but yeah. I have mentioned it before on the channel that, yeah, 8th, 9th generation Australian. The closest other European ancestor I have is my grandfather, who's Austrian. But yeah. Like, even that, because I don't know if this thing sort of happens in any other places. Like, especially up until the last couple of generations in Australia, like, the Irish, the Catholics only married the Catholics, and the English Protestants only married the Protestants up until the sort of last couple of generations. So, like, my grandmother, although she's like 4th generation Australian now, All her ancestors are Irish. Like, all of them are Irish Catholic. They make a very distinct notion of that up until the last couple of generations, especially where I live, in Tassie. It's quite interesting. Right, so that's now done, and we've brought Scotland into the fold. Fantastic. Except for that little knob in there that's gone to Iceland, but so be it. But we've managed to bring King Malios of the Dunkeld dynasty. So although the crown skipped a generation... So, yeah, I don't know why he's Earl Mac, because he was a king. Yeah. Where is it? Why is it being difficult there? I wish there was a button to unfold everything. There we go. So he's taken after his grandfather was King Donald, and his grandfather, Earl Mac. Now, can I do a similar thing in France? We've actually got pretty good relations with them, as my sister is the Queen of France, and they have decent children. This French king, King Robin, is kind of like a Baratheon. Yeah. Taking Ireland might be a little bit different. There's no more decisions there that we can do. Consecrated bloodline potentially in the future, but we'll just have to see. A faithful prepare for war. Castile once again looks like there could be another war. Well, seeing as I'm directly going to be involved, my warriors will be ready. Now, for some reason it doesn't launch off until I do a beneficiary. So I could wait. I can make my sister, Queen Mother Matilda of France, or my niece. I think we'll just leave it. We've got so many prisoners there, the notifications are spilling up, and they've changed their colour. The caliphate there. Okay, that's weird. I don't know. Have they changed to royal line? No, not necessarily. They still rule as sultans, but they've done well, surviving to this late in the game. A crusade for Castile. Deus Vult. Infidels. So let's join in on that. Okay, we might have to deal with that before we deal with the Irish. They have 20k, so we have 60k with Christendom. We want to try and kick it off because we're already at war with them now. So I guess we'll bring in, yeah, Adelise, who is my niece. Although my brother did rise up against me. So we'll move the rally point further south. I think maybe there needs to be a little bit of a delay in rally points because you can really just, for all intensive purposes, spawn units over the other side of the map. Right, so as long as I defend Castile and my surrounding territories, we should be alright. But now we're gaining 15k with Scotland coming under our control. And we've got this absolute giant of a man. Look at him, Duke Richard the Foolish. He's quite literally a giant. That's so cool. I didn't realize you could get absolutely stonker blokes like this. Okay. But I'm going to go with the more sort of rounded size of Lord Raymond. So my Princess Emma's 12. We can get her married off. And William's now 10. Fully grown man. He's curious. He's impotent. But he is a worthy successor instead of Tristan. Tyrion, I like to call him. So let's push south with Lord Mayor Raymond, and you seem to be under the illusion that you deserve my favour. I owe you nothing. Mate, I just gave you the lordship of Scotland. You're taking the piss, mate. 85. Empty threats do not concern me. Get down here. Oh, here we go. 14k against 3. The armies of Christendom are off Portugal. Will we be able to stand and fight with 22? Come on. Hold. Now I'm stressed. Maybe a different outlet. Yeah, it's that athletic trade. I can't recommend that enough if you can get it. Oh no, we might have lost. 10k. The Papal's armies are just north in Navarre. Send a raven! Send the riders out, please. Okay. Yeah. there's not overly too much we can do. Oh, we lost our army. Still 5%, but that's a shame. Hey, that's CK3 for you, and 2. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you get a bad dice roll. They only outnumbered us by 3, but we'll be right, as the army of Christendom outnumbers them so much more. So we've had to push back to Navarre, licking our wounds. And we'll try and help out. Man, it's great to see that there's huge stacks coming up, and yeah. It's interesting how this is played out, because normally there'll be so many more crusades over in the east, because Spain should have been relatively secure, you'd think, by now. They've had enough time. I can't remember the historic dates to be specific. To be honest, I still think there was stuff going on in 1212 AD, wasn't there? Still like 30 years from now. Maybe they're even more progressed, or maybe this is more realistic, or I think, no, there should be more kings, shouldn't there? Because 1212 AD, they had that crucial battle down near Seville. I can't remember what it was called. It was like the make or break battle in 1212, around about 1212 AD. Yeah, but Castile, Leon, Galatia, and Navarre should be quite prominent. In this alternative timeline, obviously, we now rule Castile. But victory, once again, William has been renowned as a crusader. Now, an emperor in his own right. Emperor William of England. Technically, he's lost the second because he's the first in the line of emperors. But we've been victorious here today, even though we had a catastrophic defeat. We were able to follow up and support the Western Christendom armies to help us out. Okay, we can bring in the Duke here because he's 20. Let's bring in this Marshal who's 17. Spymaster is only 15. I could have paid for a 20, but she's kind of old, so we might just lose her. But Prince Robert was slain in battle. Oh, well that uncomplicates things, I guess. And now my nephew Hugh has risen there. Oh, poor Robert, my brother. Second born. Did cede Wales from me. I would never forgive that. And my sister. But the Empire is in a very prosperous position. Okay. Oh, we've got a new king as well. King Robin. Complications due to obesity. He was a porky boy. But now my nephew Richard of the house of Burgundy has risen, and yeah, his grandfather was Richard. It's always good to keep an eye on that. So we have put my nephew on the Kingdom of France. Yeah, William's now 11, by the way. He needs to be married off soon. Jerusalem's still doing all right. I could maybe do a Jerusalem series. Excuse me. Let me know after this. So we can take another claim there. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any overarching kingdom claims like with Scotland. So we'll continue to chip away at the Irish. We shall move the rally point to Dublin, and we'll try and finish him off. He's 57, which is a little bit old due to my track record. But let's continue and have another war against the Irish. The Irish are coming. Or the English, rather. Okay. Right, let's finish off the Irish. Let's push down into Leinster. So, I tried to mention this before, but I don't think I finished myself. Yeah, Dublin. Originally named Dublin by Ivor the Boneless. They don't know, technically. There's always, like, sagas and myth and conjecture with Ragnar's sons. Like, for example, I said, Ragnar's brother, Rollo. Just, like, popularized in media, of course, with the show, Vikings. It's quite crazy that Queen Elizabeth II, the monarch of the United Kingdom now, is a descendant of the Viking Normand Rollo. How crazy is that? Anyway, but yeah, they think, like, they're not even too sure if Ivar actually held Dublin. There was other. It's like the name isn't Ivar, but it's so similar. It's quite interesting, the Viking history of England, because you also forget like how many invasions and like complications and how English, like you think English people are English now, like, but what actually are they? What makes up an English person, like, ethnically? Well, the Romans were there at the start. If they were Celtic, they were closer to the Picts, and then the Saxons came, and then there were Anglo-Saxons, and then there was the kingdoms of Wessex and Essex and Mercia. Then the Normans came. And in and around there, they had the Viking Age as well. So the history of England is so fascinating. But we've managed to take Leinster there, and I want to try and wrap up and take the entirety of the United Kingdom here today. We've been playing for an hour, but we'll play for a little bit longer. Right, so we will be breaking our truce. Huh. Right, so he's getting another trait, that's fine. Right, I've only just noted this. We can form the Empire of Britannia, because we have Scotland, Wales, and part of Ireland. Cornwall can be its own kingdom. Yeah, even Cornwall as well. Their language died out, and they are fiercely independent. If Wales and Scotland go, so does Cornwall. Cornwallis will be independent. I do like a Cornish pasty. So we've actually managed to do a similar, if not the exact same situation that we did in Scotland. With the seizing of Leinster, we've managed to bring in Earl Ed Mag, and he has a claimant to... He's actually related to me. Prince Emma. Huh. Yeah. So we're putting like a bit of a Norman on the throne there. Right, because that's gone through that line. Yeah, because we've taken Leicester, we brought him in. Mostly on the female line. Huh. He's... Yeah, one of his grandfathers was Richard the Lionheart. Yeah, High King of Ireland, his grandfather, his father's father. Oh, so it's a bit further back. But he has Spanish and the female and male Normandy line coursing through his blood. Now, it is going to cost us 1.3k prestige. We've got like 8k now because we're an emperor. We're exalted among men, which is insane. So, we're going to be able to bring the Kingdom of Ireland under our control, and we'll give it to one of my distant relations, one of my distant cousins. Liberty demands. Oh, this is always typical, isn't it? Yeah. I guess we'll have to leave it at that. Yeah. We got it to 4, now it's back to 2, but... Yeah, we just need to keep an eye on it. So we'll try and seize Ireland now for the third and final time. We could have very well made the Empire of Britannia, but I want to try and get Ireland under our control first. I think we technically could have done it because we had like nearly more than half of Ireland, but I don't want it to bug out, so I'm not going to do that. Emma's now come of age. Fantastic. Cynical, wrathful, and fully grown is the main thing. While they're... Imagine the stories of their brother, Tyrion, in the dungeon. It'd be quite crazy. Do you know you had a brother? Because there's actually a fair bit of an age difference between them as well. Well, they're only half siblings, aren't they? Through the father. Okay, so now, with Ireland taken, we'll disband the army, and we should be able to form the Empire of Britannia. Yeah, because that's 2 separate things. So we've got an English... Sorry, we've got a Irish and a Scottish king who are loyal to me. Wales has been taken apart. So we can create the title of the Empire of Britannia. Or I guess we could call it the British Empire, I guess now. But in 1182, Emperor William has formed the Empire of Britannia. So now that is the main title that we've secured. Wowee. The Empire of Britannia, that's what we want it to be, the main one. So we can eventually allow Prince William to inherit and I guess if we ever need, if Emma or my son William's line dies out, my brother Robert's line is secure. But this is what we currently control. There's no more factions or anything we can do here. I want to try and get that crown authority higher up if we can. And we're going to have to watch out for the title of Castile. But all the other titles we seem to manage to hold, which is good. Okay, guys. Well, unfortunately on that note, it is time to end the video here. And the series. I'm going to keep the save file, of course, but I'm going to put a pin in the campaign. Let me know in the comments if you would like for me to continue. I'm personally going to have a break. We've had a massive hour-long episode here today. Our line is secure with Emperor William of the Empire of Britannia. His father was King Richard before him. Matilda, Robert. We missed that. Yeah, Richard, Matilda, Robert. We missed out on Robert because he died in the Civil War. But yeah, I'm going to end things here. I feel like I've pushed this series as far as I could have done. We've done so much. We started off in humble beginnings in Normandy with William the Conqueror. We pushed over throughout the Anglo-Saxon kings. We threw back the Norwegians. During those wars, we had our first civil war. Then the male line of Normandy died out under William the Conqueror. Then there was only the female line. William's distant cousins of the male direct line rose up against us. And then we had to deal with the consequences of that. We had some absolutely fantastic characters. Let me know your favorites in the comments. I think, obviously, William the Conqueror is such a cool cat, but what I love about CK Crusader Kings, second and third, just the stories and the storylines we created with this. We had some absolutely crazy events. We had the Crusader Queen, who allowed her daughter to forge the Kingdom of Jerusalem to the Far East. We could maybe continue on with this save file because we've still got 300 years left of playable content. I think it ends at about 400 AD, maybe just below 1500 AD. So maybe we could play as Jerusalem because we can't play as them in the base game, or maybe someone else. Let me know in the comments. But the Crusader Queen. Then we obviously had Richard, who secured countless European sort of alliances in France. He also was the man who did the deal for Castile and continued to expand and conquer and chip away at Wales, Ireland and Scotland. And then once King William II, who eventually became Emperor William I of Britannia. He obviously was of the Empire of Britain, but now he is William of Britannia, which is really quite cool. But I'll keep the save file. I just feel like I don't know where I should, I think we're sort of done with this. France is currently ruled by my nephew, so there's no point in upsetting the apple cart there. Southern France and half of Iberia is under foreign occupation, so we could deal with that, but that was never really my job or mission. The HRE seem to be quite secure. Poland, Hungary, Austria have had, or they were quite prominent at the start, then there was a little bit of a hiccup, now they've come back. The Byzantines look quite strong, and the Turks have sort of pushed further into that Persian territory, but we've done 5 parts. We've done 5 hours on this series, and I feel like it's time to move on to something else. Let me know what you'd like me to replace this series with. I'm still thoroughly enjoying CK3 on the channel, and stay tuned for future uploads. Still stay tuned for daily content. So I've got to say a huge thank you to Paradox Interactive for making this Let's Play possible. I've had an absolute blast playing it. And how also could we not forget the events of Tyrion Lannister? Although that Emperor William was able to rule his kingdom by divine right, he gave birth to a dwarf son, and yeah, had to remarry a lowborn. It's just the storyline in these games you really can't write. And I feel like some of the best series on the channel do have storylines, but I'll keep the save file if we ever come back to it. I could very well just play as the Kingdom of Jerusalem now, because you can't play as them from the base game. Play as my cousin of Toulouse. His mother, well, his great-grandmother was the Crusader Queen, and his grandmother was the founder of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series, and if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.